How that transpired, Michael and I were in the '84 Olympics together. I had asked Coach Leon Barmore, you have to have a presenter be someone that is in the Naismith Hall of Fame. And so I had asked Coach Barmore, but he's having some serious health issues right now, and he couldn't do it. I'm not sure if he was healthy, he would do it anyway because he hates to fly. That's probably why he's not coaching anymore. And so I was talking to Fran at the Naismith Hall of Fame, who organizes all of it, and I said, I can list all these great ones I want to introduce me, Larry Bird, da-da-da-da. I said, but how selfish of me would it be to ask them to spend their time and money to fly out there to do that? Who is presenting other people that are coming to the Hall of Fame? And she told me that, well, you were in the '84 Olympics with Michael. He's doing Kobe Bryant's tribute. I said, throw him in there. Let him do mine. It's all good. And that's how it came about. And, of course, she had to ask him. And I said, I'm honored. And so that's going to be a fun night. And Kramer, since you guys, I'm Kramer's mom, so I'll throw this in there. He was very, non-committal on going to it because he's AAA, and you just don't ask the big leaguers and the major leagues and the GMs, can I have a couple of days off to go to my mom's Hall of Fame celebration? No matter how big it is, you're scared to death. You're trying to make it to the big leagues. But when he saw or heard that Michael Jordan was presenting me, he got real brave, okay? All of a sudden, he went to the major league players and said, help me with this. Should I dare ask? And they said, yeah, you better ask. So he's going to be able to be there as well. They gave him a couple of days off. So it'll be a great celebration. I hope LSU people will get on board and buy a suite and buy tickets because there will be many Baylor people there that love what we did there and that I love and are lifelong friends. But we now got to get some purple and gold at that Hall of Fame.
Hello and welcome to Tigers Roar. I'm Jonathan Poche, joined by Buddy Songy, coming to you from Bayou Smokehouse, the home of old school barbecue. You can't see it at the moment because the graphic is up, but they have some fried ribs right here on the plate. There's the picture. Fried pork ribs. That's a special for today, along with that house-made mac and cheese and that awesome bourbon baked beans. Can't beat that. A great price. Also get a drink with the special. But, man, before the show, I actually sampled one of those fried ribs, and outstanding. I mean, you wouldn't think frying a rib would make it more tender, but absolutely dynamite. Come check it out. Bayou Smokehouse, the home of old school barbecue. You see the address, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Very convenient to Airline Highway. Come check us out. We're here each and every Wednesday. Bringing you Tigers Roar. Once again, Jonathan Poche, joined by Buddy Songy. Jump right into it, Bud, man. It's been a while since we talked. Got to give a shout-out to Taylor Sharp for filling in for me on the last episode of Tigers Roar. He did a great job. Happy to be back in the saddle alongside with you, Buddy Songy.
Good to see you, man. It has been a long time since we have been here. Of course, since we've been here, Kim Mulkey not only named the LSU head coach, but being inducted into the Naismith Hall of Fame. LSU baseball playing a little bit better, but as folks know, I've got the sunglasses on because of the 7-3 loss last night to Northwestern State. Hurt their RPI a little bit. They traveled to A&M. Final SEC regular season in baseball of the year. Football, always plenty of talk. Major Burns coming over to give them a little dip at the safety spot. Saints with a new 17-game schedule, and obviously the big chore of replacing the legendary, iconic Drew Brees. And LSU softball this weekend. Now, they are back to 100% attendance. So McNeese is their first opponent. That'll be Friday afternoon at 3 on ESPNU. But I know Beth Durini would love to see all of you come back in there. George Washington and ULL, the Raging Cajuns, always a thorn in the side when LSU's hosting a regional. The softball team, a number 7 national seed, so if they take care of business, then they will, of course, host again. All of that and whatever else, and we're hearing LSU, UCLA on Fox in prime time. Nobody knows if it's prime time, West Coast, East Coast, or Central. but things are starting to come into shape. And JP, good to see you. And I know you've been working hard around the clock getting into your new house and over here. So we hope everybody's doing well. Please pray for the people in Lake Charles. 2 hurricanes, a freeze and now a flood. And I'm seeing more and more. Yesterday, it was amazing, the number of cars on the side of the road. Well, today, a lot of carpet out at the front of the yards. A lot of people got flooded and had to tear out their carpet. So hang in there. Sometimes we question the good Lord, but he's got all the answers and we don't. So you just have to hang in there, and you and I both certainly believe in him. So, but good to see you again, and I hope everybody's doing well.
A lot to unpack right there. The Budman buddy Songy, starting with our thoughts and prayers with everybody across Louisiana, across the Southeast that experienced all that rain early this week in Baton Rouge and across the region. We were lucky down in the New Orleans metro area. We didn't get that much rain, no flooding, thank goodness. Thank the good Lord, because, like you said, I have been doing a lot of work trying to get to a new house. Almost to the finish line, but I saw Clarence Buggs this morning for his show, and he said, JP, you didn't flood, did you? I was afraid I was going to have to bail you out. If my house would have flooded, I'd had an appointment on Mississippi River Bridge. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'd have been in trouble. Thank the good Lord. It wasn't too bad where we were, but our thoughts and prayers are with everybody, especially in Lake Charles, as you mentioned, dealing with those hurricanes last year. So much going on, getting pounded again with rain. And it seems that these storms, these once in a 100-year storms, the name on the news, just seem to happen more and more often these days. Pray for those that were affected, and the loss of life is always tragic, but I mean, you hate when it happens, something like that. A guy in his car by the mall here in the Baton Rouge area. So tragic. I want to give our thoughts and prayers out to you. But a lot to get to. I mean, you mentioned Major Burns. That is the big story. LSU football this week. A guy that was a highly touted recruit out of a school in Baton Rouge, Madison Prep. Had a lot of offers. LSU ended up taking a scholarship offer away a few days before signing, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Went to Georgia, got a lot of playing time as a true freshman. Of course, with the COVID, the pandemic, and the transfer portal, he'll be a freshman again this season. He did get a lot of playing time last year. I'm not going to say he started every game, but did play a lot. A lot of great experience for Major Burns. I mean, he played the Floridas of the league, the South Carolinas, and in a position of need that Coach Ogeron absolutely stated outright LSU needed help was linebacker and safety. Major Burns. LSU fans had to be very excited about getting that kid back to Baton Rouge.
6'2", 175, 180, not the biggest kid, but he plays nasty. He plays very ferocious, and what I mean by that is that he doesn't come up and knock you down. He knocks your butt down, and then he stands over you and he talks trash, and he's one of those kind of guys. Of course, we'll get into LSU football, always the talk of the town here, and it's going to be interesting. A lot of people, myself included, expecting LSU to win 10 games in 2021. Saints, more of a rebuild. I'm here 9-8 and 10-7 for the Saints. A lot of good high school football. And also want to mention one other shout out for Kevin Gallagher, of course, the co-host with Bill Profita. And Kevin fighting some medical issues, so we hope that you put him in your prayers. Big fella, I'm sitting in your chair, and we hope that you get back really, really quick. And obviously all of us here at the Pelican Sports TV family hope that all of you, we are getting better and better, 100% at our sporting locations. The mask mandate thrown away in many instances, so we are getting back to that normalcy that we want, and let's just hope and pray that it gets to the point where we're back to normal, and we're going to rock and roll come football season.
A lot here on Tigers Roar. We'll talk some Kim Mulkey. We'll talk some Paul Maneri, LSU baseball, a whole lot more. And of course, we have Mike Scarborough from TigerBait.com. He'll be joining us a little bit later. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Tigers Roar. He's Buddy Songy. I'm John the Poche. We'll be right back after this break.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Team Honda wants to thank you for once again making us Louisiana's #1 new car dealer by offering you never-before-seen savings. For the first time ever, get 0% financing up to 60 months on some of your favorite Honda models. Get thousands in savings right now at Team Honda on Siegen Lane.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
Continue here on Tiger's Roar from Bayou Smokehouse, the home of old school barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Amy's the waitress. Kayla is the bartender. She's working hard back there, ready to serve you some cold drinks. Great bar, great food, great atmosphere. Come check us out. Bayou Smokehouse, the home of old school barbecue. But man, jumping into some LSU baseball, Pulmonary's team is now 32-20 after a 7-3 loss to Northwestern State. Last time LSU took on Northwestern State beat them. I mean, Pulmonary knows they're a good team. I mean, he thought that his team didn't really quite come prepared. They came off a big winning series against Alabama this past weekend. Took the game on Sunday. Looked good doing it. Coach Maneri thought that maybe the team wasn't quite as sharp because they had a successful weekend in the SEC, something that's been a rarity this season. But drop a game, Northwestern State. You mentioned Texas A&M coming up this weekend, their last SEC series before the SEC tournament. LSU last weekend, there was a lot of talk about, whatever teams wins this series between LSU and Alabama, they have a better chance to go into the SEC tournament. I believe that was true. In your opinion, Bud, man, does LSU make the SEC tournament? And if they do, how far can they go in that tournament?
Well, I had to put the sunglasses back on when you wanted to start talking LSU baseball. It has been pretty ugly at times. And as you take 2 or 3 steps forward, unfortunately, they take a couple back. Bianco is playing appreciably better. DiGiacomo had a couple home runs the other night. Mikhail Hilliard's improved. Trey Morgan's been incredible as a freshman. He's going to make freshman All-America with some of these teams. Dylan Cruz will make freshman All-American. And, they've got some young kids. Unfortunately, a lot of injuries with the arms. No Jaden Hill, Matthew Beck, and others. So Fontenot is finally now pitching like they expected him to be the closer. But, JP, you're talking about year 15 in a program. And one of the problems you have in this town, whether it's Charlie Mack or Les Miles or Paul Maneri or whoever, when you get into those double-digit years and you've won a national championship,
right.
It's like when you get fed the ribs and the chicken and the sausage over here at Bayou Smokehouse, that's one standard. That's national championship, right?
Right.
But when you got to go through the drive-thru at McDonald's or Burger King, that's another standard. And right now, LSU baseball is not talking about national championships. They're talking about getting into the SEC tournament and getting into the postseason tournament. So it's been a rough year. We thought the pitching was going to be better. We thought there'd be some young arms developed. That hadn't really evolved. Coach Maneri's not had a great year with the crystal ball making pitching decisions. They continue to make some silly mistakes on the bases. But when they hit the ball, everybody screams and says, now that's the team I expected to see. So he does have a tendency of getting his teams to peak at the right time, and we hope that happens. I think they're going to get in the SEC tournament, and I think if they win a game or two, they will get into the postseason. But D1 baseball throughout some of these brackets and had LSU traveling to Ruston as a 3 seed. So Louisiana Tech is a possible landing spot for them. Southern Miss and Hattiesburg, possible landing spot. Some other spots in Texas. Once again, LSU not hosting a regional. Kind of feels weird. But I expect them to play decent this weekend against A&M, and hopefully they'll get hot. But, JP, it's been a little disappointing because last night is one of those games that when they're not locked in and focused, they look like a mediocre to average college baseball team. And a lot of fans are getting a little tired of that. You know how it is, man. When you feed them the ribs and the sausage and all the other things that we have over here at Bayou Smokehouse that are really good, it's a tough standard to have to live up to. By the way, Finn is a guy making it happen over here at Bayou Smokehouse. And come on over here, shake his hand. He has been doing this 20-plus years. He's like all of us. He's worked his butt off, and he's never satisfied. So he wants every last customer that comes in here to make it a memorable experience and come back, and we'll start having more and more people. And I can still remember the days of scoreboards when we were in here doing a post-game show after that heart-wrenching 7 overtime loss to Texas A&M. Yep. So come see Finn, Kayla, and all the rest over here. Of course, big shout-out to AT and Katie and Bert and Marty, and it's kind of like a reunion. We've been so crazy, but hopefully we can get some normal weather and get back to some semblance of normalcy with our summertime here.
Getting back to LSU baseball, Bud, man, 13-11 in conference. LSU was the standard in the SEC for a long time in baseball. That has certainly fallen by the wayside. Coach Maneri, I've read a bunch of stories. Rumored to have said that he's going to retire after this season. I know your sources are better than mine. Have you heard that? Do you put any stock in it? Do you believe that Coach Paul Maneri is the head coach of the LSU baseball team next season?
You know, it's been the talk of the town for about the last month, and you could see during the season he's had some pain, he's had some neck surgeries, he's had some headaches, he's had some other physical ailments. And listen, let's remember, you're 63 years old and you're coaching 18 to 23-year-olds. That, I don't care how old you are, it's not an easy living to make, trying to figure out. You got kids, you know how tough it is to be a parent. Just think if you magnify that with 40 or 50 players. And so it's been a struggle for him. It's been a tough year. Obviously, there are a lot of rumors. Of course, our famous AD that's no longer around here gave him a big fat extension when Texas was interested in talking to Paul. So he's got 3 more years at 1.13 or 1.14. So we're talking about $3.5 million. But right now, if you took me to Vegas and said one window he's back next year and the other window he's not back, right now I probably would say that a move will be made. But as you know, timing, how much money do you have left? and the politics. What is Scott Woodward going to be looking for? And I will say this: when you watch Tennessee and Mississippi State and Ole Miss and Arkansas and Vandy, those venues are the way LSU used to be.
That's correct.
It's like a funeral home Florida out at the box right now.
Right.
And they had 100% attendance, and the biggest crowd they had last weekend was 6,900 against Alabama,
right.
a team that LSU hates in all sports.
Right.
So I do think a good bit, at least 50% of the fan base, has gotten a little tired and worn out. But, if you ask me, I'd say there would be a change. But with LSU politics and all the craziness, you never know. But I don't think he's enjoyed this year.
Yeah.
And I think if they can come up with a decent buyout, we'll wait to see. But, man, I'm watching Tennessee, and they're going crazy, and they got a packed stadium. Same thing with Mississippi State. Ole Miss is throwing beers up in right field on the home runs.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, LSU blew a big lead in that game. And so they've had 4 walk-off losses that they could have easily won.
That's tough.
And instead of that, instead of those 4 wins, that 11-16, and you win 2 out of 3, 13-17. When's the last time you thought LSU baseball went 13-17 in the conference?
Right. Not a good look for LSU baseball is when they pan to the dugout with the camera and you see Palmineri sitting there. You can see it on his face. He is not enjoying being at the ballpark. Your players pick up on that. I mean, they see the same clips that the fans see on social media. I promise you the players pick up on it. They see the same thing we do. They're checking the social media just as much as we do. You mentioned timing. You think about it was a different administration, but for football, Les Miles was going to get fired, right? This is going to be his last game. But then he had to pull up an upset, I think, against Auburn. He says, no, we're not going to fire him.
Texas A&M.
Texas A&M. We're not going to fire him this game. We'll let him finish out the season. Of course, like 4 games into the next season, he did get fired. But it's all about timing. We'll see what LSU does in the SEC tournament, in the postseason play. If I went to Vegas today, I would also say there's going to be a different coach at LSU next year. I don't know who that would be. I mean, there's a lot of names that's been floated around on social media about who it might be. I don't see a lot of those names really making lateral moves at this point. LSU was a standard at one time, but that's not the case anymore. If you're at like a Florida or a Tennessee or a Vanderbilt, I don't see you making lateral moves or downwards moves. I mean, a lot of those programs are perennial powerhouses. Yes, Florida won the national championship a few years back. They've kind of teetered a little bit, but that program's always dominant, usually in the top 10, nationally ranked. Look, to replace a guy like Palmineri, it's going to have to be a big name, right? Not a guy that's going to come in and kind of build something, because LSU, that's not what we want as fans. You want somebody that you know is established, is going to take you to the national championship, to Omaha the next season, right? We're LSU. The sign out in right field, the Intimidator, take that down. That should not be up anymore.
Scarborough says the same thing.
Take it down.
Well, wait a minute.
That's an embarrassment.
Wait a minute. That's what the millennials want to do. They want to blow up history. No, don't take it down. That shows what you've done, 6 national championships. And I am sorry to get on a soapbox here, but this is what's wrong with the damn world right now. Nobody wants to respect what's going on in the past. Yes, it's not the same, but how many other teams can say 6 national championships?
Kids in the 90s thought about the 60s as, wow, what a lifetime, what a eon ago, forever ago. Kids today talk about the 90s in the same way. That was forever ago. That is the past. What have you done for me lately? That's what the millennials want. What have you done for me lately? LSU wants the standard, hold the rope, SEC story. I mean, Skip Bertman took it to stratosphere that LSU had never experienced, and it.
No, I don't get spicy on you for making that comment.
No, I get it.
But what I'm saying is that that designates what this program used to be.
Was.
And,
not what it is.
And where it used to be, but that doesn't mean it can't get back there. And that's why you got to have a change. They're not recruiting as well as they are.
Right.
They can't continue to develop pitchers. We thought they were going to all have a bunch of flame throwers.
Right.
So, look, Scarborough says the same thing. It's not an intimidating place. And when you watch it on TV, it's probably the 7th or 8th most intimidating place to play in baseball.
Right.
That all being said, I think it's time for some new blood out at the box. And there's probably 4,500 to 5,000 loyal fans, but the majority of people that I talk to, ready for a change. But look, I'm just saying this thing, not a political statement, but I find it far too often that people want to erase history, and I have a problem with that.
I hear you, bud, man. LSU dropped the game last night, 7-3 in Northwestern State. We have post-game interviews from head coach Paul Maneri and a couple of players. Will Helmers, a very talented young freshman, and Dylan Cruz, a guy that's going to make the SEC all-freshman team for sure. I want to let you guys hear from Coach Paul Maneri and a couple of freshmen. Here it is here on Tigers Roar.
That was a rather disappointing day, to be honest with you. Our only hiccup really all year in a midweek game. And I didn't really expect that to happen. I thought our kids, knew how to kind of prepare themselves and be ready to go. And I think the way the weather was the last couple of days, I just think they didn't really believe we were truly going to play today. And weather was atrocious last night. We had flooding. The weather was predicted to be bad all day today. And no matter how many times you tell them, you've got to get yourself mentally ready and focused and believe we're going to play, and don't believe what the people tell you about the weather, that we've got the tarp on the field and so forth. It's sometimes it's hard to get yourself mentally ready. And you could just really tell that our guys were just not focused on the game today. We made so many mental mistakes. We just weren't into it. And, we fell behind in the game, and then we started to press a little bit, and we hit a couple balls hard right at people. It just happens in this sport. And it was just one of those bad games. We haven't had a game like that in a long time this season. And certainly we haven't had one in the middle of the week all year. And obviously it was disappointing, the last midweek game of the year, the last home game of the year, to have a game like that. But give credit to Northwestern State. They played much more inspired than we did tonight, and they deserve to win.
Hey, Coach. I guess just kind of considering, you kind of mentioned it there at the end, but the timing of this loss in the midweek, when you guys are fighting for so much here at the end of the season, I guess kind of how disappointing was that to kind of have that kind of a performance out there with so much at stake?
I don't know how much 18 to 22-year-olds pay attention to that kind of stuff, to be honest with you, Glenn. I think as coaches and members of the media and fans, probably we pay attention to it a lot more than 18 to 22-year-olds. So I don't know that they're going to try any harder or any less based on what's at stake. I've been in this business a long time, and they have a lot of things going on in their lives that, trying to figure out what a game means is probably a little bit low on their priority list, is what I'm saying, So, for you and me and the people that follow LSU baseball, we're pretty disappointed about it. But, and I'm not saying that they didn't try. The kids didn't try. They probably thought they were ready. They got here early, and they were in the batting cages, and they were, put their uniforms on and went out there and probably felt that they were ready to play. But, you could just tell, just some of the little things that I notice as a coach, maybe, media members don't or fans don't, but, we just, it's my job to get the team ready. It's nobody's fault but my own, and we just weren't ready to go today. And it was one of those things, and we just got beat. We got beat by a team that was just more focused and more ready to play than we were.
How do you guys bounce back from here? Obviously, you got a quick turnaround with the series starting on Thursday.
Well, we've done it all year. It's one thing. I should have told the kids we lost on Sunday, because then I'm sure they would have been more ready to play today. We've always seemed to play better when we come off of disappointments. I think after the playing so well on Sunday against Alabama, maybe they just kind of felt that the game would be an easy win for him. And when you don't, I'm not saying we didn't respect our opponent. I couldn't speak to that at all, that the kids felt that way. I certainly respected our opponent. They beat us the last time we played them, and we played them in the regional a couple of years ago and had to have a 9th inning rally to win that game. I have all the respect in the world for Northwestern State, but when youngsters play a game so well like they did on Sunday, they kind of lose their edge a little bit, and that's what it appeared to me today, that maybe they just lost a little edge, and I'm sure they'll get the edge back now as we go to College Station.
Coach, you said y'all needed this game to be played in order for your young pitchers to get some work going to the postseason. How do you kind of assess your bullpen today?
Well, there was some good and some not so good. I'm not going to single out guys one way or the other, but there was guys that stepped up and did a good job, and there were some other guys that were a little bit disappointing. And been nice if we would have thrown some heroes up there on the scoreboard, but it didn't happen. We fell behind because we weren't hitting well, and just a tough performance all the way around by our entire team.
Well, David from Rivals, was this team ready or believed that this game was going to be played today?
I'm not too sure about that. With all the rain last night and the threat of rain today throughout the day, I don't know if we were completely ready to go out there and win that game. We didn't start out too hot, and the bats didn't get rolling until late, and I think that's part of not being ready to play. So yeah, I'm not sure.
Well, I want to follow up on that real quick. I don't know how any other way to ask this, but why wasn't this team believing that this game would be played? Like, I don't understand that.
And that's a tough question to answer. I can only speak for myself, and I'm not sure how to answer that question, to be honest with you. It's a tough question.
What did Elkins do against you guys, with the homer, and then he had the RBI single back up the middle? What did he do in the lineup to really hurt you guys in this game?
Yeah, he hit that solo shot in the second inning. That gave him one, and then once you give them one, it's and they get the lead, and we can't come back with the bats. It makes it harder to get guys out, definitely. But he was a good player, and he did well in the box up there, and I think he was a crucial part in having that RBI and that solo home run.
And then where do you guys do to bounce back from here? Obviously, you got a quick turnaround to play in Troy, or not Troy, excuse me, playing Texas A&M this weekend.
Right. Definitely a quick turnaround. We leave tomorrow. So, it's, there's no room to think about it too much. You got to flush it right now and get ready to play Thursday against a really good Texas A&M, team. It's an SEC team, so it's going to be a great matchup.
Hey, well, I guess just, considering everything that's, at stake now for you guys, just, I guess, how disappointing was it to come out and have a game like this, and then just how much more of a sense of urgency you guys need to have this weekend to really close out the season strong?
Right. A loss like this kind of definitely hurts the pride a little bit of the team, but, knowing these guys and knowing them really well, I think it's going to light a fire under us in some way. That might sound a little weird, but I think it's going to light a fire and give us this little spark at the end of the season, and we could go a long way.
Dylan, the general comments from Coach Maneri and Will have just been that y'all weren't focused today. Did you get that sense from yourself and the rest of the team that y'all just didn't quite have it locked in today?
Yeah, probably weren't focused today at all. We really didn't even know if we were going to play today, but coming into the game, we were ready. We were ready to come into the game. We just couldn't put anything together throughout the whole game. But, I think the focus level wasn't there, like you said.
Yeah, and I guess now the obvious next question is just what do you guys have to do to kind of pick yourselves up here to finish the season strong and give yourselves as good a chance at a postseason bid as possible?
Really just got to put this aside and, focus on Texas A&M coming up here in the next couple of days. Yeah, like I said, just put it aside. And I mean, we've been consistent through these midweek games this whole year. Just gotta, just one hiccup on the road, and gotta put this one aside and focus on A&M right now.
Yeah, I mean, that was one thing that Will just said was, a loss like this can kind of fire a team up, kind of give you guys a spark of, hey, we got to get it in gear here for the last, couple of games. I mean, did you get that sense in the locker room just now when you were talking with the other guys about just the sense of urgency you guys need to have these last couple of games?
Yeah, I definitely think this will pick us up, for the series this weekend. We obviously have to win this weekend series, and I think this is kind of like a spark to for this future in this series against A&M this weekend. So, I'm looking forward to it, and it should be a good weekend.
Just what would you say about, Northwestern State's pitchers? They obviously limited y'all to 3 runs and 5 hits. Was there any sort of common thing that they were doing to get you guys out?
Not really. Just the focus level wasn't there. That was it. I mean, none of those pitchers really could have beat us any day of the week. Just like I said, the focus level wasn't there, and couldn't string anything together throughout the whole game.
Do you think guys are maybe looking ahead to that Texas A&M series, or maybe riding high from the series win against Bama? You think any of those two things played a part in today's performance?
We probably could have. Yeah, could have been. I mean, the focus level was there. It just I mean, we've been consistent throughout this whole year through these midweek games. We probably thought we had this one in the bag, and we were kind of just looking past to the series against A&M. But yeah, so.
We continue here on Tigers Roar. That was head coach Paul Mainieri, freshman pitcher Will Helmers, and the outstanding freshman Dylan Cruz. What a mullet on that guy. The mullet's making a comeback, bud, man. I don't know if you're aware, but the mullet is back.
The mullet is back, and the PGA is this weekend, and John Daly won the PGA with a mullet 30 years ago. Right. Dylan Cruz going to make freshman All-American and has been fantastic. I love the fact that he's got power to the opposite field. We talked to Todd Walker about that. And look, a lot of the former baseball players are a little frustrated as well because, as you alluded to, this has been a long, long legacy. That's why I got spicy talking about the history with the numbers that have been retired.
Oh, by the way, word from the truck, AT has your back on the Intimidator. He wants to keep it. He's with you. He's standing on that hill with you.
Well, I just think it would be, I don't know. I just think that you got to keep some of that stuff up. Now, we all know that LSU fans want to eat Omaha steaks in Omaha.
Correct.
JP?
Yeah.
I think you're going to have to probably order them this year over the internet.
QVC got the special. That's right. 3 easy payments, $13.33.
But there is a little method to the madness. By the way, I did take the sunglasses off momentarily because we're trying to be more positive with LSU baseball, but they do have to peak at the right time. Skip used to get mad at me because I call it peaking at the right time, but it is peaking at the right time and getting everybody to play at a high level. One of the things that I don't want to see with Coach Mainieri, and Dale Brown is a legendary basketball coach, but his last 5 years in Tigertown left a stain on what he did the previous 20. Don't want to have too many more years. Let's be honest, LSU hadn't been LSU-type ball since they got beat by Florida in Omaha.
Yep.
And that's going on 4 years now. With COVID and all that other stuff, we thought the bloated rosters and all those arms. So, look, maybe they can get on a little bit of a roll, but sitting here trying to determine whether they're going to be in the postseason, that's a far cry from going to Omaha every year and taking over Omaha when you get there because of the rabid LSU fan base.
LSU takes on Texas A&M, Bryan College Station, Texas. Olsen Field at Bluebell Park, a long name for the Texas A&M Stadium. They will have a tough task. I mean, no game in the SEC is easy, but LSU needs to, like you said, get hot right now, peak at the right time, head into the postseason. Coach Mainieri, it's going to be a tall task. Hopefully they can rub a lucky rabbit's foot or something, get those bats going, have some solid arms all 3 days. and maybe they can build a little momentum.
Well, hey, let's hope that they get them in. There's about a 90% chance of rain tomorrow night, and 70 and 70. So we've had, I don't know about you, but I'm ready to get back out in the yard, hit the golf ball, sweat, cut the yard, and not have it all muddy. I mean, we got to get a break from some of this Mother Nature here. But, look, a lot of people will be looking forward to college football. Name, image, and license is around the corner. We're going to probably be able to bet on football games, hopefully real soon.
Yep.
There's some good things going on, and we hope that do you believe LSU and the state of Louisiana, Tulane, everybody else, do you think instead of being 48th, 49th, or 50th, that they could actually be the first one to put this NIL into effect? That would be nice to see Louisiana politics on the cutting edge instead of at the back end.
Very well put. A lot more here on Tigers Roar, according of course, we'll talk about Kim Mulkey. She was inducted to the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. Of course, she was 2020 inductee. They pushed back that ceremony to this past weekend on Saturday. We have her acceptance speech and a whole lot more right here on Tigers Roar.
Creel Tree Service is a licensed and insured tree service providing tree and stump removal, topping, trimming, cabling, pruning, and fertilizing. We have free stump removal with takedowns, free estimates, affordable rates, and senior citizens discounts. Call 774-TREE. That's 774-8733. Get your yard ready for the warmer weather. If it deals with a tree, call me, Creel Tree Service, 774-8733. That's 774-TREE.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with The Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Of all the auto brands on the road today, only one has been named the best auto brand for 6 straight years. That brand is Mazda. Come shop and save on the award-winning lineup of new Mazdas right now at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
I've seen a lot of things during my life, more bad things than good. I've lived in a lot of places, but never a home. I don't think anybody cares about me anymore. And now I'm tired. Signed, Brian, age 11.
Abused and neglected children in East Baton Rouge Parish are in dire need of CASA volunteers. Please call 379-8598 today. Change a life of hurt into a life of hope.
Hello. Hola. Ni hao.
Experience what the Baton Rouge International School can offer your children. Now welcoming displaced students for short and long-term stability.
We continue here on Tigers Roar. Jonathan Poche and Buddy Songy here at Bayou Smokehouse, the home of old school barbecue. Tonight's special was the fried pork ribs. You get 3 ribs and 2 sides. Of course, I would have chose the house-made mac and cheese and the bourbon baked beans. They are outstanding. Of course, you get to drink with that. There you see the picture. It is to die for. Come check us out. Old school barbecue here at Bayou Smokehouse.
We gave Finn a shout out. Now we got to talk about Mama B, and she is making people's eyebrows turn up. Everybody talking right now, folks. This is the hottest barbecue restaurant in all of Baton Rouge. People love the frickin' brisket. I'm getting it from everybody. Best brisket they've ever tasted. The sausage, the ribs, the sides. And oh, by the way, call us up. all you got to do is call us at 831-9336 for to-go. Our previous location at Inniswall, we did a lot of to-go, and I'm busy. I'm going to take home something for the girls and try a little bit of everything, but I've had nothing but rave reviews. Scarborough's coming in here. We've got Jan and her husband want to come in here. A lot of people talking about Bayou Smokehouse, and we are happy to be here. And we want you to come in here and not only see us, but get a little bit of smell-o-vision going.
That's right, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Come check us out. Very convenient to Airline Highway. Outstanding food, great atmosphere, great staff, very friendly bartender, and Kayla tonight making great cocktails back there. Come check us out. Bayou Smokehouse, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. But, man, jumping back into LSU sports, Kim Mulkey becomes the 6th player or coach connected with LSU basketball to go into the Naismith Hall of Fame. One of the best hires for LSU as a coach. I don't think it's even close. The energy she brings, not only to women's basketball, but to all the other sports. I mean, she's everywhere. Kind of like Dee Bro was. She was like all over. Pops up doing first pitches. Goes to the pep rallies, the events. She's going to bring a lot of energy to the entire athletic department. Kim Mulkey, grand slam hire by Scott Woodward.
No doubt about it. A lot of us heard the rumors and innuendos. That story went on 5 to 7 days before they actually had the press conference, and of course did that at the Pete Maravich Assembly Center, and I want to say about 2,500 over there. Look, she has raised the standard for all LSU coaches. She's spicy, she's feisty, she's not afraid to get up in your face whether you're another coach or a player. She is not going to settle for anything but excellence. 3 national championships at Baylor. Louisiana Tech had a faux pas when they didn't hire her the first time. She wanted a 5-year deal. They only offered 4. She said bye-bye. But she has already had a major impact. She's going to help LSU raise money.
Yep.
And listen, in light of all the negativity with the Title IX and the Darius Geis and Drake Davis stuff,
no kidding.
This is somebody that is going to shine a positive light on LSU. So kudos to Scott Woodward and all of his staff for getting her over here. And women's basketball, oh, by the way, I went ahead and got you and your wife a pair of season tickets. It only cost me $100 to sign up. So you'll be going to some games here in the future.
That sounds really good, bud, man. Appreciate that. Of course, you saw in the intro, Kim Mulkey was introduced by Michael Jordan, the GOAT himself in basketball. You got to be pretty special to have Michael Jordan induct you into the Naismith Hall of Fame. We have Kim Mulkey's acceptance speech right here in case you missed it. I want to show it to you right here on Tiger's Roar. Here is head coach of women's basketball, Kim Mulkey, getting enshrined to the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame.
Welcoming Kim to the Hall of Fame is fellow Olympian from the 1984 Summer Olympic Games, Michael Jordan. Please welcome the little girl with pigtails, Kim Mulkey.
Michael, I'm incredibly honored. I guess the last time we stood this close, we were walking out that '84 Olympics, and we were a hell of a lot younger looking and probably a lot skinnier. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I was told to catch Bill Walton in the elevator and try to beat his Hall of Fame speech. Did he go an hour, 45 minutes? No, I'm just kidding, Mr. Walton. I met you, there you are, big guy. I met you in the elevator, and he told me, you take as long as you want, Coach. You take as long as you want. I'll keep it short, sweet, and to the point. I look out from this podium, and I'm really overcome with twin feelings of amazement, humility and amazement. Even now, more than a year since I was announced as an inductee into the class of 2020, I'm amazed. I'm amazed that a kid from Hammond, Louisiana, or should I say Tickfall, Louisiana, could find herself in the company of giants. Giants. I'm amazed that someone who could never consider coaching. I was talked into being a coach. After the '84 Olympics, I received a postgraduate scholarship from the NCAA to work on my master's degree, and I was sitting in a class, and police officers came and got me out of class. The first thing you think of is there's a tragic accident in your family. But they asked me to report to the president's office after class. At that time, the president was F.J. Taylor at Louisiana Tech, who founded the program. And he wanted me to become an assistant coach. He wanted me to do something that I said, I want no part of that world. I'm done. I want to be a CEO and fly all over the country in corporate jets. Little did I know that man knew more about what I was supposed to do than I did. I'm amazed that a university in Texas, with which I had absolutely no prior connection, welcomed me, they embraced me, and they provided me and my family, my 2 children, unwavering and unconditional support. So I'd like to give a shout out to all the Baylor people here tonight. I'm humbled as well. I mean, how cool is it going into the Hall of Fame with all of these great players and coaches? We're Hall of Famers, guys. We're Hall of Famers! But you know, we have more than that in common. That's a pat on the back and that's a feel good, but we really have more than that in common. All of us being honored here tonight, we understand that while we're the ones being honored and recognized, we're only here because of one of life's greatest ironies. We get the credit when it should be shared with and by so many others. I'm only here because of the great individuals who coached me. Songy Hogue recruited me to Louisiana Tech University, and we won the very first NCAA title in 1982. Naismith Hall of Famer Leon Barmore, he took me in as a raw, untested 23-year-old assistant coach, and we won another national championship in 1988. So let me give a shout out to the athletic director and the plane load of people who came here tonight from Louisiana Tech University. Hall of Famer Pat Summitt. She gave me so many life's lessons. While I played for her on the 1984 gold medal winning Olympic team, I'm only here because of those types of coaches I learned from. I played with some of the greatest players ever in the history of the game. I played against some of the greatest players. But what I also got to do is I got to coach some of the greatest players. No coach stands here without having great players. I'm a very small part of the basketball world because those players choose to listen to you or ignore you. And I've been blessed that they believed in me, they embraced me, and they allowed me to push them beyond places they thought they could ever go. I'm only here tonight because of great assistant coaches. When you find a coach in college that doesn't have much turnover on their staff, you might better wonder, what are they doing right there? I don't have much turnover on my staff, and I would like to acknowledge my staff that is here tonight. I wish I could name every player that played for me, but Bill Walton told me I can't break his record, so I'm not going to do that. I have to acknowledge a few people. For the last 21 years, I've coached at one institution. Many coaches have to pack suitcases because they either get fired or they move on to the next best job. I've had the best time of my life at Baylor University, and I got there because of Athletic Director Tom Stanton and President Dr. Robert Sloan. They took a chance on a little country girl from Louisiana that had never left the state of Louisiana, and they gave me every resource and all the support in the world. I want to also acknowledge, recently I changed jobs, not because I was fired, but by choice, and I'd like to acknowledge all the LSU contingency here tonight. And last, well, before I talk about my family, I want to say this. Ironic, isn't it? I'll say it again. Coaches get to go in the Hall of Fames. But I'm telling you, we don't do it without players. You just don't do it without players. I want to tell you again, I see some of the greatest players in the women's game here. Thank you. Thank you to all my Baylor players, and thank you from the bottom of my heart how you can make coaches look wonderful. I want to also talk about my family. I have to tell you this. My mother is in the audience, Drew. She was the one who said, it's okay to dress up and look feminine and be tough as hell on a basketball court. And Mom, I thank you for that. I'd like to acknowledge my two children, single mother. It's not easy. It's not easy. Vanessa, it's not easy. You're the toughest woman I know to deal with what you deal with, honey. And let me tell you something, life will reward those children. I promise you. I have a son who plays in the St. Louis Cardinals organization. He's so close to being on the major league team. And Magic, if he doesn't make it, trade for him, Magic. Get him in a Dodger uniform. Mackenzie has been on my staff. She's about to bring another grandchild into this world. Do not deliver her tonight, and if I can coach long enough, I'm going to get to coach a granddaughter maybe someday. To my grandson, Cannon, if you think you love your children, wait till you have grandchildren. And I figured out why you love the grandchildren just a little differently, because you can send them home when you're tired of them. I'll say this again from the bottom of my heart. As a coach, don't ever forget to take care of your players. And in college, don't ever forget to graduate those players. You can't promise them championships. You can't promise them that they'll be drafted. But the one thing you can promise them when you sit in their home is that you can send them home with a degree in their hand. Thank you.
Good luck.
All We continue here on Tigers Roar. That was head women's basketball coach Kim Mulkey. So relatable. I mean, an icon already, inducted into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame by Michael Jordan, the GOAT. Our family was there, so proud, so humble. Just an absolute dynamite lady. Great hire for LSU. Looking forward to her being the face of women's basketball for a long time to come.
I think she's graduated everybody that has signed and stayed with her programs. Now, look, when they transfer or go otherwise, she's already got a 6'5" young lady coming over from Baylor. So, and Will Wade is still the gangster, getting a 5-star. Mr. Reed, 7 foot, 235. Hoops is going to be hopping. And Jay Clark, good news, 5 of the 6 seniors in gymnastics coming back for another year. So, JP, I know it's been a crazy year for a lot of people. I'm hoping 2021 gets us back to feeling good about athletics at LSU.
Whole lot more here on Tigers Roar. Next segment, we'll have Mike Scarborough from TigerBait.com talk about recruiting, LSU football, and a whole lot more. Don't forget, we're here at Bayou Smokehouse, the home of old school barbecue. Check us out, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. We'll be here. Budman will be here. Rocket Right shoots later. Great food, great atmosphere, great bartenders, and a very friendly staff. Bring the whole family. Bayou Smokehouse, the home of old school barbecue. We continue here on Tigers Roar after this break.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bugg Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Team Honda wants to thank you for once again making us Louisiana's #1 new car dealer by offering you never-before-seen savings. For the first time ever, get 0% financing up to 60 months on some of your favorite Honda models. Get thousands in savings right now at Team Honda on Siegen Lane.
And we welcome you back, Tigers Roar. Nice to see the rain has subsided a little bit. Hope everybody doing well. And as always, we love bringing in Mike Scarborough with TigerBait.com to talk a little recruiting. And Mike, a very fact-filled show on radio and internet today. Let's continue on TV. So happy Wednesday. And, man, you have been working around the clock to get stories up and go and see kids. So if you could, get everybody updated on what you've been watching, what you've been seeing, and obviously some big commits on the horizon.
Yeah, it's been a very busy spring. I've been out to Woodlawn High School. I've been to Lafayette to see Walker Howard. I saw Carr and Ruston on Saturday. Let's see where else. I've been to Liberty High School to see Caleb Jackson, the running back that LSU offered for 23. We've been out to Zachary, Eli Holstein. He's got an offensive lineman that I want to pay attention to. So there's a lot of there's a lot going on, and we're just weeks away from the first LSU football camp, and it looks like many of the top football players are going to be there at that first weekend camp. June 4th, 5th, 6th.
JP, can you imagine making a decision that is going to shape the rest of your college football career, not being able to go to a school on an official visit, not being able to go to a summer camp? What about a kid that gets 10 pounds of muscle and grows an inch and a half? All those guys got shafted because of the COVID protocols. Mike, let's talk about this, and we really haven't asked you about this, but we know recruiting is an inexact science anyway, but do you think that this will give LSU and other schools a better barometer now that they can get the actual eyes on them to see what they look like doing the drills at camp and coming on to visit? Because, as we know, kind of a crapshoot recruiting the last year and a half with the pandemic, hadn't it been?
No, there's no doubt. There's a lot of prospects out there that have gotten a lot of notoriety on Twitter, and you watch their huddle film. You got people in their area in your ear saying you really got to see my kid, or they're fans of a particular high school, or their child goes there, whatever it is. And it's a whole different ball game when you're able to see them. First of all, like me, getting out and going to spring games and inter-squad scrimmages, but also being able to see them at camp in one-on-ones and standing side by side with other kids that have offers from a lot of schools. And then, of course, the coaches get to work with them and see how they take instruction and what their football IQ is and everything else.
Mike, let's talk about Aaron Anderson and some of the other guys that you have been putting in lights. And, boy, JP, when Mike told me that this kid reminds him of a faster Josh Reed, you know I got excited, because those were the days, I still remember it like it was yesterday, when Rohan and Josh Reed lit Alabama up. Still the most passing yards ever in a single game, 528. And, Mike, with the quarterbacks on the horizon and the receivers, it looks like LSU is going to be able to play pitch and catch for a bunch of years moving forward.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about Josh Reed to Aaron Anderson, and I got to realize that he wasn't even born yet. I mean, isn't that crazy? So I sent him the video. In fact, the only one I could find was the game against Alabama, and I sent it to him, and he goes, "Yeah, I've seen it." And I said, he goes, "I can see what you're saying." He goes, "But I compare myself more to Tyreek Hill," and then so I can very well see that as well. In fact, Aaron Anderson's legs and lower body are very similar to Hill's, which is bigger and thicker than Josh Reed. But the main reason for the comparison of Josh Reed and relating it to an LSU player is that Aaron Anderson has got a running back's build. And if you watched any of his highlight tape, and then particularly the film that I shot Saturday and loaded this morning on Tiger Bait, just the balance this kid has and the ability to stop and start and change direction. There's several times on the film where most receivers, when they got pushed with the velocity they were pushed, they would have fallen down, and he's able to keep his balance despite having some sore hamstrings. So he's just a special kid, and I'll tell you how special he is. Not only do I think he's the number one receiver in the state this year, I think if he would have been in last year's class, he would have been number one.
Wow.
Mike, with the departure of T.J. Finley, nobody knows if he's going to end up at Auburn or where. He's in the transfer portal. Walker Howard has already been committed for LSU for a while. How does that shake out as far as looking at quarterbacks? You mentioned Eli Holstein from Zachary. He's still got a couple years left. But what kind of numbers are they looking at? Is Jamie's son Walker going to be the only one in this class? And if you could, moving forward, how many great quarterbacks can you get out of school nowadays in light of the fact that everybody wants to come in and compete and start? Not too much patience with the quarterbacks. How's that going to work out with LSU moving forward?
Well, there was some talk last fall that the class of 2022 would be a two-quarterback class, and then that died. But now it's started up again since Finley left. And then you've got people out there, telling some scenarios that, if Miles Brennan isn't the starter, that he might leave. And then what do you do if Max Johnson wins the job but only barely, or it's very close? Do you go with Brennan just so you don't go into next fall with it being Max Johnson and Garrett Nussmeier? But I think all those scenarios, and a lot of it gets borne out on message boards and social media. But I don't know if it's going to be a two-quarterback class. I think some of that really can come into focus after the June camps take place, and get a lay of the land, who shows up to work with Coach Peets, and how that plays out. And then also the feel for what you have for next year. You've got Eli Holstein, you've got Arch Manning. Ricky Collins will be at camp. Is he a kid that can earn an offer? You got Reese Mooney over at Denham Springs that had a big day Saturday morning. I'd hoped that was supposed to be another game I was supposed to get over to until I ended up in a veterinary clinic Saturday morning. So, he's one to watch out for, and plus they'll be recruiting regionally and nationally as well.
All right, Mike, news this week. Major Burns, a player from Georgia, entered the transfer portal, and he's now committed to LSU, a guy that was formerly coming out of high school committed to LSU, but something happened right before signing day between him and LSU. Can you kind of talk everybody through that process? What happened right at the end there, and also how big is it for LSU to get Major Burns back in Baton Rouge?
Well, there's different stories out there. Obviously, LSU was under the gun numbers-wise. Tommy Robinson was recruiting him. There's some stuff out there that maybe he dropped the ball. Whatever happened, it didn't happen pretty. He ended up at Georgia, spent a year there, played 6 games, and now he's back in Baton Rouge, and I know he's super happy. So. Yeah. And LSU's glad to have him because now that gives them depth, better competition. Now you can kind of, if safety was your position that you thought was a weak link on that side of the ball, well then now you might be scratching off, and it might just be linebacker to a degree. Of course, we're talking about on offense. It really the only weak position looks to be tight end.
Yeah.
So that's why the outlook for LSU football season is so positive.
Well, and the other thing we talked about, JP, on the radio today is that Major Burns has relationships with kids at Madison Prep and Emory Jones at Catholic High. And so, Mike, you feel like this is a win-win, given depth at the safety spot, which was needed, but also helping recruit Quincy Wiggins, Emory Jones, and others that LSU has on their list for this class.
No doubt. All those kids know each other. They've all competed against each other from elementary school. Some of them went to the same elementary and middle schools. Of course, Madison Prep is a magnet school or whatever, and they can, take kids with a certain grade point average. Emory Jones, I think, could have been a Madison Prep kid or a Struma. So they all know each other. And, of course, Major Burns, being a couple of years older, was a kid that they looked up to. So, a lot of them knew what went on with LSU. And of course, I don't think there was anything that was going to happen with Quincy Wiggins and Emory Jones anyways. I think those guys were heavy leans. In fact, close to a lock as you can get, I think, for both of them. But I think what that did yesterday was really just solidify LSU's stance with both of them.
Hey, I got this question after you left today, but people want to know about tight end. Do you feel like that still is a little thin? And obviously, we'll be talking about Eric Gilbert and if he gets all of his ducks in a row and comes back to the team for 2021. But our buddy that listened to you today wanted to know, other than Max Johnson's brother, who's a highly talented tight end, are you hearing any other names at tight end for this class?
No, I have not.
Is that?
I haven't. And to be truthful, I've been so busy with Louisiana kids the last few weeks. I haven't dug around to see what other tight ends might be on the board, but that's also a deal where, who do we see at camp? Who's going to show up for an afternoon or a workout and works at that position?
Mike, with the transfer.
But if they know they've got a real good plan for Gilbert to get him to where he needs to be, and then you got Jake Johnson coming in, an older Cole Taylor, all the stores, all of a sudden you're feeling a lot better about that position.
Mike, got the transfer portal. LSU adds linebacker from Clemson and Mike Jones, and the safety. Major Burns coming back to Baton Rouge. I mean, the transfer portal has become almost like another recruiting phase, right? I mean, the guys go play for a year, but now with the transfer portal, the rules, I mean, you're immediately eligible. You can transfer wherever you want to go. I mean, this is kind of a whole new stage of recruiting, right?
Yeah, and I wonder, a handful of years from now, is there going to be like an over-under number?
Right.
Is there going to be a typical number that you can associate with LSU as far as the transfer portal? Or does it get wacky? 1 year it's 2 or 3, 1 year it's 7 or 8. I mean, I don't know how that's going to work out. I tend to think the more stable your program is, the more you've got a head coach that looks like he's secure for multiple years, the less likely you need to go to the portal. But I still think, depending on the position, and quarterbacks is going to be one of them, of course. We'll see how it plays out, but there's so many ways this can go, and then you combine that with name and likeness. I think we're all going to be kind of punch drunk the next few years trying to absorb what this means for college football long term.
Mike, we all know that LSU bringing in 5 coaches, all pretty much younger, and we know the offense is going to go back to what 19 did, and obviously Durante Jones leading the defense. Have you gotten a feel at this point about who the best recruiter is of the new 5 coaches, and if they're going to have get back in that position? JP, let's be honest: Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, Clemson, LSU, Florida. All those teams historically have been in the top 6 or 7. What about these new coaches? Who's the guy turning heads that you've been able to talk with the kids about?
Man, that's a tough one. because if you talk to some quarterbacks, a lot of them are, are talking to Munoz. I tend to seem to think that I hear more about Andre Carter than anybody else right now. But I mean, that can change. I mean, 2 months from now, it might be Coach Baker that seems to be the hot hand. But I don't have a definitive answer on that yet. It's too early.
All right, Mike, before we let you out of here, tell everybody about TigerBait.com and how they can subscribe today.
That's it. Go to TigerBait.com. $1 gets you on the site. Try us out for a week. The site's overflowing with recruiting interviews and video. I've been hitting the road. We got 3 stops in New Orleans before the end of the week. I've got a couple of spots getting all the time changes due to the weather, and so tons more coming on Tiger Bait. And then after that, we're almost less than 2 weeks away from the start of football camp. So if you're an LSU football fan, you're going to want our text alerts, our newsletters, because recruiting is just going to be nonstop throughout the summer, particularly June. So you're going to want the text alerts for breaking news. And as I always say, choose the annual package. You save 3 months. And so we want to have you as a subscriber at TigerBait.com.
All right, Mike, doing Facebook Live today, tonight at 8 o'clock, TigerBait.com. Mike, should be an interesting show. As always, appreciate you having me over there. I'm going to take a little break from that, but great show on Facebook. Yep. You've seen it. You've seen it. Beautiful thing about it is you don't have to watch it live. You can watch it tomorrow.
That's right.
That's right. Anytime. Shoot, the show you and I did last week, I think we got over the weekend in the last 2 or 3 days, we got like 1,000 more views added to it. People, take their time and get into it. It might be 4 days after we've done it, but it ends up getting viewed a lot.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, Mike. Good stuff. Thank you.
Talk soon. Okay.
JP, time for our final break.
That's it. But take a quick break, put a wrap on the Tigers Roar edition. Come back and join us right after this break. Jonathan Poche, Buddy Songy, and you're watching Tigers Roar.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Hello, guys. It's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Hello. Hola. 你好.
Experience what the Baton Rouge International School can offer your children. Now welcoming displaced students for short and long-term stability.
Continue here on Tigers Roar, getting quick, short on time, 2 minutes left, so we got to give a shout out to Southeastern Hammond. Southeastern Athletics, their quarterback, Cole Kelly, took home the FCS Walter Payton. It's like the Heisman Trophy for FCS schools. It was taken to Hammond America. The quarterback, Cole Kelly, congratulations to that young man. Also, big news out of Major League Baseball. Wade Miley, former Lion pitcher, threw a no-hitter against the Cleveland Indians. It was the fourth one of the Major League Baseball season. Of course, since that time, there's been another one, so 5 no-hitters so far this season. Shout out to Wade Miley. Outstanding job for that young man. He's kind of a journeyman, been around the league a while, but really found his stride right now with the Cincinnati Reds. Throwing the no-hitter, what an achievement, baseball history.
Seems like there's been a lot of no-nos already this year.
Yep.
They are actually, I want to say, this 4th or 5th no-no already.
5, right.
This year. LSU at A&M tomorrow night, Thursday night, the ESPNU, 6 o'clock. Digital Network on Friday and Saturday. SEC baseball tournament starts next Tuesday morning. 6 versus 11 seed at, I want to say, 9:30 in the morning. So we got plenty to talk about. We'll continue to keep you updated. Good to see you, as always. Great job.
Appreciate that, bud, man. Don't forget, check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting, a great way to keep up with everything we do here at Pelican. Of course, all the Tigers Roar are in an archive on YouTube. Of course, you have Clarence Buck Show and The Exiles. Of course, Rocket Right will shoot right after we're finished, but that won't air until tomorrow here on the Pelican. But they're on YouTube as well. When you go to our page, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting, don't forget to subscribe. That way you get notifications for every time we post something new on YouTube. A great way to keep up with everything we do. And don't forget, come check out Bayou Smokehouse, 10655 Corsi Boulevard. Great food, great atmosphere, a very friendly staff. A good place to have your family, the kids, bring everybody. Come check us out. Bayou Smokehouse, the home of old school barbecue. We appreciate you watching Tigers Roar. Bud Man, Buddy Songy, John the Poche. You have a good night.